Well, we go to Washington.
Why?
After the horrific plane crash that occurred between a Black Hawk helicopter and a private airline over the Potomac,
Why?
64 fatalities.
Ooh.
President Donald Trump has come out. He's got questions and wants to get to the bottom of it.
What the hell's going on out here?
How? By slamming the Biden administration.
Come on, man. Give me a little break here.
For its DEI practices in the FAA.
What the fuck? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
I'm Jasper Gonzo in this, and what I meant by getting to the bottom of it, Pete Buttigieg, Transportation Secretary. Just saying. But it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jasper Gonzo, what's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Friday. Well, this is definitely not one of these feel-good stories. After the horrific plane accident that happened between a Black Hawk helicopter, a Army Black Hawk helicopter, and a private airline from American Airlines over the Potomac, 64 fatalities. We don't know why. There's video. Questions need to be answered. You need to get to the bottom of it. So Donald Trump came out and says, hey, you know what? I've got questions. I got to find out what's going on here. Certain heads are going to roll. But in the meantime, I'm going to slam the Biden administration for its what? Its DEI practices. Yes, diversity, equity, and inclusion in the FAA. Yeah, because that's where it's needed. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Trump calls out Pete Buttigieg's, yes, Pete Butt Plugs, who was Transportation Secretary at the time, called bullshit, binary, and DEI after fatal American Airlines crash and Black Hawk accident. But I'll play that in just a bit. Washington. President Donald Trump slammed former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and former President Joe Manchin over diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI practices initiated in the Federal Aviation Administration under the Manchin administration following the horrific collision between a passenger plane and a Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. Wednesday night. Trump addressed the members of the media in the James S. Brady briefing room on Thursday, hours after the crash that left no survivors, 64 on board American Airlines Flight 5342, and 3 service members aboard the Black Hawk. Trump hammered Buttigieg, who oversaw the FAA's Transportation Secretary, yes, Mayor Pete, before Trump was sworn in president just 10 days prior. Do you know how badly everything was run in the Department of Transportation? He said he's a disaster. He was a disastrous mayor. He ran the city into the ground. He's a disaster now. He just got a good line of bullshit. Trump said Buttigieg ran the Department of Transportation right into the ground with his diversity. Trump highlighted January 14th Fox News article. FAA's diversity push includes a focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities, detailing FAA's DEI push in the final days of the Biden administration.
Have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing.
Wow.
And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was
6
a week before
days
I entered
prior.
office. They put a big push
6
to put
days prior to him taking office,
into
they
the
try to push
FAA's
this
program.
shit. Unbelievable.
Then another
Unbelievable.
article, the Federal Aviation Administration. This was before I got to office, recently, second term. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine? These are people that are, I mean, actually, their lives are shortened because of the stress that they have. Brilliant people have to be in those positions, and their lives are actually shortened, very substantially shortened because of the stress. where you have many, many planes coming into one target. And you need a very special talent and a very special genius to be able to do it. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability.
Yes, absolutely. Epilepsy. A lot of flashing lights going on the board, but sure, let's put somebody who has epilepsy at the controls. Brilliant.
A controller
Brilliant.
of airplanes pouring into our country, pouring into a little spot, a little dot on the map, a little runway. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission
But
of ensuring safe
diversity
and
is our
efficient
strength.
travel. I don't think so.
Isn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite. The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in, and I assume maybe this is the reason. The FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation?
A real winner.
He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor.
Truth.
He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit.
Boom.
The Department of Transportation is government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity.
Wow. Just wow. Trump then paraphrased the subheading, FAA, people with severe disabilities and most underrepresented segment of the workforce, containing that Biden administration wanted to put DEI hires in the roles of air traffic controllers. This was January 14th, 1 week before I took office. They put a big push into diversity into FAA's program, he said. On his second day in office, Trump took executive action directing Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and now acting FAA Commissioner Christopher Rusciello, if I'm mispronouncing his name, who appointed, he announced at the briefing to return to merit-based hiring for all positions, including air traffic controllers. Also, all so-called DEI initiatives, including all dangerous, prefacing policies or practices, shall immediately be rescinded in favor of hiring, promoting, and otherwise treating employees on the basis of individual capability, competence, achievement, dedication, the memo read in part. I'm not surprised. Now, of course, like I said, the investigation is ongoing. We actually don't know from the video that we saw. Basically, it looks like the Black Hawk helicopter took a straight shot right at the private airline, and we don't know the full extent. The black boxes in both planes have been removed. They're being examined, and then we're actually going to find out the truth of all of this. But Trump made a good point. The fact of the matter is that you chose what's between your legs, or shall I say, what mental disability you have versus merit-based versus experience in one of the most stressful jobs in the country, FAA controller. When you've got thousands of planes coming at you at once, you got to be on your game. You got to be on the ball. And like you said, it's a very stressful job. Just like, dispatcher, for 911 or a 911 caller, when you're calling in and you got so many calls coming in at once, you got to be on your game. And sadly, we've seen over the years that they will hire just about anybody to be behind a 911 caller. And that's truly sad. But with this, absolutely not. 6 days before he got into office, they were pushing this nonsensical bullshit as policy. So instead of getting the best, you got the shittiest. Now, did that have anything to do with this? We don't know. Like I said, the investigation is ongoing, but we're going to find out. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borgonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.